Hello, my name is Marshall Richard Henry, and I'm in the 7th grade at the Pleasantview Baptist School. And today I'll be performing for you William Henry Bartholomew Smith, consumer advocate, versus the real problems afflicting the world. Why you should be outraged about the poor quality of paper towel corporations in America, by Bradley Walton. People on the TV and the internet are moaning and complaining all the time about the world's problems, about the so-called environment, about so-called endangered species of animals whose existence you gotta take on faith because they don't sell them at the grocery store, about wars in parts of the world that no self-respecting American could even find on a map. Well, I'm here to tell you, those people who are obsessed with all that junk have no sense of priority. They have no respect for the everyday afflictions that ail the common man. They don't care. Well, I care, and I'm here to rub your face in it, to make you so mad that you actually get up and do something about it. My name is William Henry Bartholomew Smith, consumer advocate, and I'm here to talk to you about the shameful, embarrassing, and downright unpatriotic quality of paper towel perforations in America today. You know what I'm talking about. When you go to tell yourself to shake the paper towel off the roll, you've got a lot on your mind. You need to nuke yourself a frozen burger or clean up the mess your dog left next to the spare tire in the living room. You have a task that you must complete before you get on with your life. And in order to complete that task, you need a paper towel. In order to get that paper towel, you got to tear it off the roll. You don't have time for nonsense. You need to be able to rip it off and go. So you find that perforation line and you give the sheet on the end a good hard tug in the expectation, the hope, the need of a good clean tear. That's not what happens. It rips down the middle of the sheet, jagged, crooked, all over the place, not pretty at all. And the next time you need a sheet, there's going to be this extra part of the sheet that you're not going to know what to do with. It's distressing, it disturbs you. And keep in mind, you've got stuff to do. You've got a burger to nuke, or publish fries to clean up in the living room if you ever want to rotate the tires on your pickup truck again. You don't need this additional stress. It's completely unacceptable, and it shouldn't have to be that way. I work hard. I earn my money, and when I spend my hard-earned money on paper towels, I expect them paper towels to tear the way they're supposed to tear. It's what I deserve, and it's what you deserve, and we should not tolerate any less. Paper towels should tear straight every single time. Sure, you may have gotten a perfect tear when you cleaned up the mess your cat left under the lawnmower blade in the kid's bedroom yesterday. Or last week when the stupid ferret got sick all over the Volkswagen motor under the dining room table. But when your hand's going numb from holding a frozen burger that should be sizzling in the microwave right now, all the times the paper towels did tear right, they just don't count anymore. So what do you do about it? You can't take it up at a retail level. They don't care. Years ago, I went to a supposedly fine retail establishment to complain about the poor air pressure in a can of aerosol hairspray. I unloaded on the first employee I could find. He just looked at me like I was crazy and went right back to clean the bathrooms as if he had no idea what to even say to me. Jerk. So in my first efforts to combat the pathetic paper towel perforation plague, I bypassed the store where I bought the paper towels, got on the phone and called the manufacturer. And the second the phone picked up, I let them know exactly how I was feeling. I screamed until I was sure the receptionist on the other end of the line was deaf. And let me tell you, it felt good to inflict some pain and deafness on the enemy. Actually, it worked a little too well. The woman on the other end of the line was so deaf and so shaken, all she could do was ask me to enter my party's 4-digit extension over and over again. The tone of her voice never changed. I must have really gotten to her. Still, the 4-digit extension thing was kind of a dead end. So I got in my truck and I drove 15 hours to their corporate headquarters. And I marched right up to that door. And I walked inside. And would you believe what the woman behind the desk said to me? The words she had the gall to utter? The filth-laden linguistics with which she polluted the snowy pure porcelain sanctity of my eardrums? How may I help you? Not. We aren't worthy of the hard-earned dollars you spend on our crummy products. Please, let's be grovel before you. Which at least would have been the proper greeting. Not even. Go away. I'm busy playing Candy Crush Saga. Which at least would have been honest. No. How may I help you? Sweet as can be. Just like that. As if there wasn't a care in the world. As if somehow she didn't know the mental suffering and anguish that had been inflicted on me by their product. Trying to throw me off guard by knocking the ball back into my court. Well, I wasn't going to fall for that. No way. So I showed her. I showed all of them in that office. I showed them that you don't play mind games with William Henry Bartholomew Smith. Because I'll play those games right back at you. And I play to win. So you know what I did? I turned around and left. Marched right out of that office without saying a word. Got my truck and drove away. Bet that taught her a lesson. But even after that, would you believe that my paper towel troubles were still not behind me? It wasn't even 3 days later, I was brushing my teeth and I chipped a tooth on one of the antlers of the moose head mounted over the sink in my bathroom. Well, being a consumer advocate, I know some tricks about saving money, and avoiding the dentist is at the top of the list. I've managed to steer clear for years. Anyway, I grabbed a tube of super glue out of my wife's makeup bag, and I glued the chip right back onto the spot it fell off my tooth. Problem was, I got a little bit more glue in there than I needed. So, I reached for a brand new roll of paper towels that I had just bought. And wouldn't you know it, I ripped an extra 1/4-inch chunk off the next sheet on the roll. So now I'm standing there with a rapidly drying bulge of super glue in my mouth. One hand's holding up my lips so the inside of my face doesn't get stuck to my tooth. The other hand is holding this asymmetrical piece of paper towel. What am I supposed to do? I mean, would you want to put a piece of asymmetrical piece of paper towel in your mouth? Well, I couldn't fix the glue spot. Last the paper towel company saw to that. Bunch of jerks. Now I got this dude that does quite feel right. I've been sucking on little bits of cinder block, hoping I can round the thing down. But it looks like I'm going to have to break out the electric sander here pretty soon, or else I'm going to lose my mind. And that's neither here nor there. Bottom line is, paper towel manufacturers are evil. That's all there is to it. There is no other rational explanation. This is a real problem that desperately needs to be addressed. It is time for consumers to unite and take action together. Now, you might think I'm going to suggest a boycott. You'd be wrong. The paper towel manufacturers would be expecting that. We need to keep them off guard. Mind games, remember? We need to send them a mixed message that needs to be crystal clear. So, the only thing to do is buy up all the paper towels on the market. All of them. And when the shelves are empty, and there are no more paper towels to be found anywhere, the manufacturers in the stores will finally understand that there is a problem. And they'll have no other choice but to reform their ways or face further consumer backlash. And I know in my heart, they just don't have the guts for that. Poor quality paper towel perforations is a frightening problem. One that affects us all, but it's one that we can solve. Together, we can stand united against the apathetic captains of industry and make our voices heard. I'm William Henry Bartholomew Smith, consumer advocate. Thank you for your time, and most importantly, your outrage.